So today we will install a program in our VPS which is looking at the logs. It is processing the log files of the server of the VPS periodically, and it is sending some notifications or email messages to the administrator, to us, about some interesting things on the logs. So if it is noticing some strange things, then it is sending them by email. But before installing Logwatch, we will install Msmtp. So what is Msmtp? It is a light SMTP client. SMTP client means that it is contacting an SMTP server in order to send emails. So it is not an SMTP server. It does not send emails to the destination by itself, but it is forwarding emails to the SMTP server, and then SMTP server knows how to send the emails to the destination address. And we can use our own SMTP server. So we will configure this Msmtp so that it is using the simple SMTP server that we installed before in this VPS. So let's also install a couple of other packages. As Msmtp MTA and BSD mailx. The configuration file of Msmtp should be /etc/msmtp rc. So let me open it with an editor. And I will write these lines. So this is the configuration file. This block here is defining an account which is named Msmtp. No, I should name it SMTP. So it is just a name. It can be SMTP1, for example. It doesn't matter, but it is the name that is used here. Account default SMTP1. And here are the settings for this account. The mail domain that it is going to use is user1.fs.al. For example, if we are trying to send an email to the destination root, for example, then by default it is going to use this domain, root at user1.fs.al, not root at localhost or something else, or admin or info. If we send an email to admin, then the full email address will be admin at user1.fs.al. So this is the mail domain. Now here is the SMTP host that it is going to contact for sending the emails, and we have installed this SMTP server before, smtp.user1.fs.al. The from address, it is going to send messages from this address. VPS1 is the host name of this VPS. It can be anything, it doesn't matter. But when I receive an email from VPS1 at user1.fs.al, I understand that this is coming from this VPS and not from VPS2, for example, or some other server. This is a connection parameter, start TLS on, and also this is another connection parameter, SMTP connection, set from header on. And then besides defining the default account, we also say that aliases will be defined in this file, /etc/aliases.msmtp. And the log messages will be stored on the log mail, which is the I think it is the file of anyway. Now we have to define this file aliases. Save. aliases.msmtp, and here it is only one line. This file aliases is like a forward table. So for this address, the messages that are coming to this address are forwarded to this one. The messages that are coming to this address are forwarded to this one. But we are defining only one line, default _gmail.com, which means all the emails are forwarded to this address, which is my address. And now we can use the command mail to test this configuration. So this should be the subject test1, and then this is the destination, the target, the destination address, the receiver, and then this is the body of the message, just test1. We have something wrong here. Let's try this again. And if it works, then the message should be sent to the address root. But root and everything is forwarded to dashhoja@gmail.com. So I should receive I should receive an email on my Gmail account, I think. And let me check the spams. And actually, I've received a message, but it has been classified as spam. So from this is the from address that we set on the configuration file. And then the destination is root, but everything is forwarded to dashhoja@gmail.com. So this is working. Any email that is sent from the VPS is forwarded to my email address at Gmail. Now we are going to install Logwatch. So what is Logwatch? We see this short description here. Log analyzer with nice output written in Perl. Logwatch is a modular log analyzer that runs every night and mails you the results. It can also be run from command line. The output is by service, and you can limit the output to one particular service, the subscription. So it is processing the log files, and it is sending an email message after this processing. Let's also install this package, which I think is needed. libdate manual IP Perl. So this is I think must be a Perl package, because Logwatch is written in Perl. And the configuration file of Logwatch should be at this directory /etc/logwatch. We are creating a new configuration file, logwatch.conf. And it is actually very simple. It has only one line. So So this is specifying the range of processing. It is processing the log files from 7 days ago up to the last day. So for the last week, it is processing the log files for the last week. And the Logwatch is running daily or nightly, but we don't want to run it nightly. We want to run it weekly. So we are going to modify the cron configuration. So in this directory /etc/cron.daily, there are some jobs that are being executed daily. One of them is this one, 00 logwatch. And we are going to move this to cron.weekly. So we moved this configuration file to cron.weekly so that it is being executed once per week. And if we look at this one, what does it do when it is executed? It is testing that this script exists and is executable. Otherwise, it stops. So test -6 means that this file is present and it has the execute permission. It is executable. And if test is failing, then the script is stopping here, exit 0. The rest is not executed, the rest of the script. And if this script exists, then it is running this output mail. It is sending the output by mail. Now we can run this manually. So it is executed automatically. So this script is executed automatically each week, but we can also run it manually on the command line just to test it. And after this script is executed, it should send an email, and we should receive an email from Logwatch. So let us check. And we have received this email, Logwatch from server 1, and the sender is VPS1. And this is how the output of Logwatch looks. So it is showing what packages have been installed during this week. For example, we installed Swax. What packages are upgraded, disk space, status, and maybe other interesting things. But for this time, there were no other things that could be interesting for us. So it is nice to receive such a summary of the logs once a week, like this. So this might be useful. And we can also install Logwatch for the containers. So the Docker containers that we installed can include Logwatch inside. And in order to enable this, we have to set some global settings on the directory .ds. So in this directory there are some settings for the Docker script framework. And one of the settings is this global settings. And the settings that are required by Logwatch are SMTP server. So this is about Logwatch inside the containers that we install, not the Logwatch on the VPS. We installed it. It is already finished. But if we want Logwatch to run also inside the containers, we have to define what is the SMTP server and what is the SMTP domain. This is the SMTP server. We can also define an SMTP port. But it is optional because by default it is going to use 25 or something like this. And we can also define Logwatch So this is where Logwatch is going to send the emails from Docker containers. Save it. And how does it work? For example, if we look at the code of one of these containers, the script of So these are the scripts of the container NSD. And if we look at the configuration file here, cmd config, we see these two lines, dsinject msmtp.sh, dsinject logwatch.sh. And these scripts are being executed inside the Docker container after it is built in order to set up msmtp and logwatch. Now these scripts are defined by the Docker script framework, and we can have a look at these scripts. But basically, they make the configurations that we did on the VPS, similar configurations, and they use the global variables that we defined. So we defined the global settings here, and those scripts are reading this variable SMTP server and SMTP domain and logwatch email in order to set up the logwatch and msmtp inside Docker containers. So this is how it is working. But because we had not configured these settings before, when we built this container, the configuration of logwatch is not done. Now that we modified global settings, we can rebuild, for example, this container and this one, etc. And this time, when we rebuilt it, the logwatch will be configured as well. So if I go to NSD and rebuild it with dsmake, Okay, this does a lot of configuration, but if we look at the logs here, we see that it is running this script, inject msmtp.sh, and also it is running the other script, inject logwatch.sh. Let's try also another container. Again, we see here that it is running the script user local lib ds inject msmtp.sh. And also it is running this script logwatch.sh. So let's have a look at this log, this script, for example. I'm copying it. So at this part here, it is defining an email address. So if SMTP domain is not defined, is defined, this is not empty, then email address is root at SMTP domain. Otherwise, if Gmail address, if this variable is defined, then the email address is Gmail address. Otherwise, the email address is just root. And also, if logwatch email variable is defined, then email address is logwatch email. It is sending the notifications or the messages or the reports to this email address, logwatch email. And here it is creating this configuration file inside the container /etc/logwatch conf logwatch.conf mail from, and then this is the name of the sender and the email address of the sender, mail to. It is sending the report to this email address, and then range, it is processing the log files for the last 7 days. And also it is moving this 00 logwatch script from cron.daily to cron.weekly. So basically what we did on the VPS. Now let's try to install some other simple applications. Not simple, but so the first one will be NextCloud. So we have installed before NextCloud with packages, with Docker Compose, and now let's see how to install it with Docker scripts. First of all, we are going to get the scripts from the GitLab. But actually, NextCloud also depends on the Postgres database. So this container or this application that is being installed by these scripts require a PostgreSQL container. So let's also get the scripts for PostgreSQL. And let's install first PostgreSQL because it is a dependency for NextCloud. I'm initializing a directory for this container in this path. I don't need to modify anything here, and build the container. These are the scripts for the NextCloud application. We can have a look, for example, at Docker file. So it is starting on Debian 13. Trixie, it is starting from Debian 13. Installing some tools here. And then installing this libmagic core and some other things that are related to it. And then installing PHP and other related packages that are required for NextCloud. And then we are installing Redis inside this container as well. And because Apache 2 is installed by default, we are removing Apache 2 and installing Nginx and SSL cert. And this section, or this part of Docker file, we are getting the NextCloud application files. So this is downloading this latest archive and then extracting and then fixing the ownership, and then it is moving it to this directory, user source. So this was the Docker file. Now let us see, PostgreSQL is installed already. So it is running here. Now we will start the installation of NextCloud. We will initialize the directory for the NextCloud application. I'm calling the domain cloud.user1.fs.al. And these are some NextCloud applications that we can install automatically when we build the NextCloud container. But to simplify things, I'm going to skip these applications. So just install the basic applications for the time being. So I'm going to either remove or rename this file. So I'm renaming it so that these applications are not installed. And we don't have to change the admin password. We can change if we want, but this is a random one. So this is not hard-coded password. Admin email, I have to change the admin email here. And see, NextCloud. The configuration of database is okay. This is the name of the container of the database. And default phone region, maybe I have to change it from AL to IT, for example, for Italy. Save. And let's start building the container. And while it is built, we can have a look at some of the scripts. We already had a look at settings. So this password here is hard-coded, but when we initialize the directory, this is modified automatically with and it is replaced with a random password. And also the domain is modified automatically to match the name of the directory that we created the application here. Also the password of the database. And these modifications are done by this misc init.sh, because this script is executed when we run the command ds init. So when this command is executed, if it finds this script in the directory misc, it is executing this script as well. So, for example, here it is generating a random password for the admin, and it has the length 20 characters, and then it is modifying the file settings.sh with the command sed, streamline editor, and it is on this file, it is changing this line, the line that starts with admin pass and equal, it is changing it to this one, and this is the variable that contains the random password here. And the same thing for database password. It is modifying the password of the database with a random value. This script create is creating the container, and then this one is making the configuration of the container. After the container is built, additional configuration. So let's have a look at these two scripts. So the function cmd_create is already defined by the framework. But we are renaming it to this one, original cmd create, and we are redefining it here. And we are using this function inside the new function, original cmd create, and we are passing it some additional parameters or arguments. So this directory www in the current directory is mounted to the directory /var/www/nextcloud inside the container. And the configuration, first we are injecting and running these scripts as we saw before, which set up Msmtp and Logwatch. And then this command, ds PostgreSQL create, is creating a database. But how does it know the name of the database, the name of the user, the name of the password, etc.? It knows it because these are defined on the file settings. So on the file settings, we have this db_host, db_port, db_name, db_user, db_password. So that command is using these variables to connect to this database host, and it is creating a database with this name. it is creating a user with this name and with this password that has access to this database. So it is this command here, ds PostgreSQL create. And then it is running this setup script inside the container. And if this file exists, it is running the command ds occ app enable, and then it is enabling all the applications on that file, all the plugins or the applications that are on that file. And then we are doing here some other configurations. Set up Redis, set up SMTP servers, set trusted domains, etc. Some other configurations here. So when we installed NextCloud manually, usually we did this ourselves. We did them manually, but now these are included in this setup script, so that we don't have to do them manually. They are automated with this script. So some basic configurations are automated with this script. And one script that was executed was this one, inject setup.sh. And here we are calling this function main. At the end of this script, it is calling the function main. And the function main is calling this function, setup Redis, setup PHP, install NextCloud, setup Nginx, setup cron. And I'm not going to explain all the details, for example, how to set up PHP, what is each line for. But they are usually things that are needed, are required for a proper configuration. And this command here, occ maintenance install, is installing the NextCloud application itself. Because NextCloud is a PHP application. It is based on PHP. It is written on PHP. And it is specifying, for example, the database details, the name of the admin user, the password, and the email of the admin user. It is also doing some modifications in the configuration of Nginx. So we see that the configuration, the installation is finished. Let's have a look at the logs. So this is the script setup, inject setup that we just saw. It is running inside the container. There are some error messages here, but I don't know what they are about, what they mean. Let's try to open this in browser. It seems that it is working, but what is the password of the admin? The password of the admin is here at the settings. Let me copy it. And we have a basic installation of NextCloud, not too many applications, because I did it on purpose, because it is faster to install without installing all the applications, and we can install these applications later. So let's go at administration settings here. The version of NextCloud is NextCloud Hub 2026 Winter 33.0.2. I think this is the latest one. And here we don't see many errors or warnings. These are not serious things, I think. So it seems that it is installed correctly.